And we're back. It's time for quarter two.
Am I putting intro music on quarter two as well as quarter one this time?
I think you could maybe do like an abbreviated version of it.
Right. You may have heard some intro music. If not, I'm assuming you've already heard quarter one.
Are we going to thank for the intro music again at the start of quarter two?
Jason's like, he's going to get numerous name calls.
So yeah, check out Jason Blythe for that intro music. So thank you. So if you listen to quarter one, you've heard us summarise the movements in the AFC East, and in quarter two you will hear us predict where they're going to finish.
Typical worst to first order.
Yeah, worst to first order. We are still missing Gav for this quarter, and I'm sure you'll be looking forward to hearing his voice again in quarter three.
I think he'll appear partway through the recording. You'll hear the clunk of the door and him going, hi! And then probably some general rambles from him, but
yeah,
we'll see.
Something like that.
He's not here at the moment, that's what we know for sure.
Right, I'm going to dive in with the worst, and I think there is a clear candidate in this division for who finishes worst,
Yep.
and that is the New England No, sorry.
Oh, yes. Oh, one day it's going to happen.
I can't do it yet. It's the Miami Dolphins.
It is.
As we said in quarter one, they haven't done very much in terms of incomings.
They've lost way more than they've gained.
Yeah.
And the biggest question mark is that quarterback issue. Well, I say an issue. If they get Fitzmagic that was playing, say, the first 4 games in Tampa last season, absolutely balling out.
And they might get that for 4 games, but it seems to be all he's capable of is about 4 games of that. So they might have a hot streak at some point through the season, but nah, I don't see it. No. I just think there's far too many questions. You've got a first year head coach, too many things against them for them to actually do anything. So I think they quite comfortably will be the worst team
I'm actually just going to very
division.
quickly look at their schedule just to see how they get off. Obviously, pre-season we don't really care about in the nicest possible way. However, so they start off at home to Baltimore, home to the Patriots, away to the Cowboys, away to the Chargers, then a bye. Right, so they're probably 0-4 heading into the bye.
No problem. Well,
it's harsh.
The Patriots' record down in Miami isn't very good, is it?
True. And I suppose if you're going to take a win from the Patriots, the first few weeks of the season historically has been the best time to get it. Because they get their stuff together by about game 3 or 4 and it's game over for the rest of the league.
Yeah.
But they tend to sometimes get off to some rocky starts.
So they've got a very early bye week as well. So their bye week's in week 5.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say that they'll be 1-3 at the bye week.
Give them a win. You want it to be against the Patriots.
Yeah, and they then are at home to the Redskins, at the Bills, at the Steelers, home to the Jets, at the Colts, home to Bills, at the Browns. Then they've got Eagles, Jets, Giants, Bengals, and then they finish at the Patriots. I think they're in for a 4-win season at best.
Yeah, it's going to be down there. They're going to be swimming around the top of the picks in the next draft yet again, I think. You never know, but there just doesn't seem to be much in favour of what they're going to be up to at all. So kind of with you on that. Yeah. The next one I flopped around. I swithered between the next 2 teams.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, most people who listen to this are savvy enough with NFL to know
who's going to win this division.
Anyway, right? So spoil the surprise. But the next 2, the Jets and the Bills, I think there's been enough. There's been good improvements on both teams.
Yeah.
So I wasn't sure which of the 2 would work. So last year round it was Bills finished ahead of the Jets. I think that might reverse.
Okay.
This time. I know we've just said, actually it'll probably almost slightly counteract what we've said, because it was just said in quarter one that in terms of what you think of the division, they could have done the most amount of improvements at an overall roster level.
Yep.
I think the difference is that the improvements that the Jets made are like so chalk and cheese to what they would have had before, like getting Lev Bell in, getting Mosley in to run that defense, even picking Khalil up to help on your O-line. Now, he's at the end of his career, but he's going to be really solid for a year, and he's going to be really good at helping Darnold.
Yep.
So I just think they might just pit them. So I thought the Bills will sit maybe 7 and 9. I think they're going to be swinging in about the mix, and then just at the tail end of the season might flame out. Now, division-wise, I've not actually looked at the schedule. I've just literally thrown that out as a guesstimate. Seeing as we have time in the second quarter, which we realised last week when recording, and the second quarter was about 10 minutes. We're like, we're wrapping things up awful quickly. What a start! Right, they go to the Jets, they go to the Giants, they're at home to Cincinnati. I'd take that as the first 3 games of the upcoming season.
I would,
Those are happy days.
So you've got the big divisional game against the team that you're probably going to be competing with most in terms of your finishing position, and then you've got 2 of the weakest teams in the NFL, in the New York Giants and the Cincinnati Bengals. That is
I think that the bad news really for them is that the divisions you've got in rotation, you've got the NFC East, so you're playing the Eagles, the Cowboys, and the Redskins, which I'm not 100% sold on, but they ain't the Giants, let's be honest. There's only like a one gimme out of that division, and then you play the AFC North.
Yeah.
Ouch. So I think that's why I think they're going to have enough. They're going to be in the mix, but it'll get to that second week of December, week 15, the game at Pittsburgh. That'll kind of officially knock them out of the hunt. Swimming in a wild card before then, but not much else.
Okay,
however, the good news, I suppose, is that the final game of the season is at home to the Jets. So it could potentially be one of these games where winner takes all. There's a very outside chance. What was this saying? However, we had this debate last week.
They need to get a higher win record in the
second
AFC.
team in the South or the second team in the West.
Yeah.
Because that, at the minute, is my 2 that will squeak in. But you'll hear about that in quarter 4. Upcoming. Which takes us to Team 2.
So, Team 2 then is the New York Jets. Again, I think it's much similar. They'll be around about that 50%, 8 and 8, 9 and 7, 7 and 9, somewhere around there.
Even if they get 9 and 7, that's an outstanding first year for Gase. I think 8 and 8, and I was being even kind of optimistic on 8 and 8. I was kind of wanting to.
Well, you went 7 and 9
for the Bills. Yeah, so I just gave them 1 game extra.
Yeah.
I think an 8 and 8 would be pretty good considering where they were last year. But 3 and 13, did they go? They ended up with the 3rd pick. Or did they get a 4th? I can't remember off the top of my head.
I want to say they got a 4th.
Okay, I got a 4th. 4 and 12. So I mean that's a 100% improvement right away. So we'll take that. It's still a little bit in the early stages of the rebound. And I think, albeit I don't talk much about the rookies because obviously they're unproven, and it's nice to talk about them during draft season, but when it gets to now, you kind of want to wait until the season starts to see which ones genuinely were worth their pick.
Yeah, unless you've got a sort of standout or someone that's really dominated the headlines, which, I mean, we'll talk about when we get to the NFC. Obviously, one of the big stories of the off-season was Kyler Murray and where would he go and all that, so you can't not speak about someone like that. But I don't see anyone there that really commands that sort of attention.
But except Quinnen Williams at the Jets.
Yes.
Because he was, by all account, every draft board, he was right up there. He was going no worse than pick 3, generally speaking, which is where he ended up. Actually, a lot of drafts had him going 1.
Well, going into the draft, I wanted the Cards to stick with Josh Rosen and take Williams at 1.
Yeah, and that says it all, really. If they might get a nice bump on having drafted him as well, which could help just push them just a little bit further.
Yeah, and I suppose that takes us to the number 1 team, which will be the New England Patriots, because that's who it is every year.
The granddaddy of the league. They are 10 seasons now in a row that they've won it. I think the division.
Only 10.
Or something daft like 1 in the last 12. I think the Dolphins went 11-5 one year, and I watched it, so it must be about 7, 8. Maybe it's only like one season in the last.
I think they're
12
consecutive.
or something daft like that.
It's something crazy.
It's ludicrous.
Yeah.
Absolutely ludicrous. They sometimes do start slow out the gate, which is what we kind of referred to when looking at the schedules earlier on. So if you're going to pick up a win off them, you want to do it early in the season. However, Belichick, he goes no more than maybe 2 games where he goes, okay, where's my problems, right, fix them, here we go.
Yep.
It's just absolutely ludicrous what they do. As the most neutral of the three of us, I can sit there and appreciate it for what it is, because actually even you said to me the other day, when we were talking about Brady being re-upped,
yep,
we are watching we're probably watching the greatest stretch of dominance by any team that will ever happen.
Yeah,
I mean,
Bill Belichick is for me, Bill Belichick is the greatest coach in the history of sport.
Not even...
Not just NFL, in the history of sport.
Any team, that would be a debate and a half. Not that I can think of any to rival him, but it'll be different in different parts of the world, which is really interesting. Because obviously in the UK here, we think instantly Sir Alex Ferguson.
Yeah, and that for me is the only comparison worth making. And I think Belichick, just for his consistent dominance, tops that slightly.
But without knowing many,
Sir Alex is one of my idols. So
there's definitely got to be 1 or 2 NBA coaches that are floating around that'll be in that mix of what they've done with teams through their careers. Not that I'm as versed on the NBA as I am on the NFL, but I totally get your point. Yeah, there can't be many in that conversation, if any.
Yeah.
So they will sit at the top. I put them at I just straight number off the top, 13-3. It'll be enough for challenging for the
12 or 13 is what I had. Yeah, they're thereabouts.
They'll be getting their first round bye anyway.
Yep.
It's whether it goes through Foxborough like normal is the only question. I suppose, as we sort of said, they do have the NFC East and the AFC North on the dock, so you're going to have some nice battles with the Steelers, which is always fun every year. Because they were division winners, they're obviously going to have the Chiefs on the schedule, which is week 14.
Yeah,
that'll be quite late.
Got the resurgent Cleveland Browns in their division matchup.
Yes, which we hope will go well.
Yeah.
But they finished the season after the game. That's why I shouldn't laugh. After week 14, their last 3 games are at the Cincinnati Bengals, home to the Buffalo Bills, and home to the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, so if
they're just walking through the last 3 weeks of the season, they'll be resting everyone.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Easy finish. Dear. Anyway, so that wraps up our predictions for the AFC East. Let us know what you think. Do you agree with us? Do you think we're talking out our arse? Let us know.
You violated your own swear jar rule.
That's not a swear.
Oh, is it not? Okay.
No way.
Have I said anything wrong today?
I don't think so.
Oh, I'm finally learning. It's only taken like a year.
So let us know what you think on Twitter. Find us at the AF Cast. Like, share, review, help us grow. Thank you, and we will speak to you in Q3 when we move on to the AFC West.